Hi everyone, my name is Samantha Dalal, and today I'll be talking with y'all about a study that my team and I did with a local food delivery cooperative in Colorado and what it can tell us about the importance of human intervention in the platform economy. Most of us are familiar with the convenience that food delivery platforms offer us. The ability to order dinner directly from your couch is something that many of us took advantage of during the lockdown period of the pandemic. But as HCI researchers, we know that these conveniences come with various costs and harms, including physical harms, psychological harms, financial harms, and even communicative harms. However, much of the work examining the platform economy and the harms endemic to it is situated within the context of what we call the mainstream platform economy. That is, researchers seek to understand how stakeholders mitigate the harms that they experience within national and global scale venture capital funded platforms such as Grab, Uber Eats, Deliveroo, and Doordash. In our study, we investigate Nosh, an alternative platform that operates fundamentally differently from existing mainstream food delivery services. Unlike mainstream food delivery platforms that operate as centralized businesses funded by VCs and stockholder investments, Nosh operates as a hub and spoke model, similar to like a McDonald's franchise, where the parent company provides the platform, the name brand, and the training materials that local Nosh hubs utilize. These local Nosh hubs are currently supported through restaurant investments and share profits back with the parent company to maintain upkeep of the platform. Our work seeks to answer two research questions. One, why do stakeholders experiencing harm in the mainstream platform economy turn to alternative business models such as Nosh? And how do these alternative business models function? To answer our research question, we conducted 28 interviews with 4 different stakeholder groups in Nosh: restaurateurs, couriers, or the people who deliver your food, customers, and platform administrators. I'm not going to get into specifics around sampling and interview protocol here, but you can read more about it in the paper. After coding was completed, we decided to use infrastructure studies as an analytical lens because it allows us to see the underlying power structures and values embedded into the technical features of platforms. This was especially useful for our study because it elucidated how stakeholders translated interactions with a platform into statements about platform values. Our analysis yielded 2 key findings. 1, stakeholders join indie platforms like Nosh because they find increased agency in comparison to mainstream platforms. And 2, stakeholders are constantly engaged in repair work in order to make Nosh functional. I'll discuss these findings in more detail and then conclude with some implications for future work. In Nosh, stakeholders articulated having more agency over their participation during the process of food delivery. Stakeholders' perception of agency was closely aligned with the presence of human intervention. The ability to interact with, reason with, and negotiate with a human representative from Nosh gave them a sense of agency that they lacked when they were participating in mainstream platforms. For example, one restaurateur said, "It's a very transparent operation from Nosh. The other services, there's no transparency. It's just plug and play. I don't have any say on what happens once I sign up." Here they point out that at Nosh, they have a say over their participation in the platform, and they were able to give input into how they thought the delivery service should function. In contrast, mainstream platforms provided a more plug-and-play experience. Drivers also articulated how within Nosh, they were able to exercise agency. Driver 2 told us that one thing I also like with Nosh versus Doordash, Nosh does not track my movements and my location in that way. It's not going to tell me to turn around or else I'll lose the order. That's something that I remember with Doordash. Here, this particular courier was frustrated when they were working for Doordash and they tried to improvise for the situation at hand and make a delivery in a different order than what was algorithmically prescribed. In Nosh, as this driver points out, they had the agency to improvise routes. Importantly, this ability to exercise agency is intimately related to the presence of human intervention. You can negotiate with a person, but you can't negotiate with an algorithm. In order to make Nosh functional, humans had to constantly intervene to repair both platform breakdowns and breakdowns in the overall process of food delivery. Because Nosh is a small platform, and it does not have the same budget for technical development as other mainstream platforms, administrators at Nosh were constantly engaged in creating ad hoc fixes to their service to meet other stakeholders' expectations. This platform administrator put it this way: The point I'm trying to make is that the platform we currently use is very limited. In this case, the administrator was telling us about how he has to engage in additional invisible labor to create reports for restaurants manually, because restaurants were used to receiving these reports from mainstream platforms, but Nosh's software did not have the capability to automatically compile them. A driver we spoke to illustrated how the process of food delivery is inherently complicated. It's predicated on the coordination of multiple parties. So this driver told us, I would literally call every single time, every restaurant, like, I have this order, here's the order number, here's a name. Anything else you need? Can you let me know if this food's been received by you? And do you have any idea how long it's going to take? Oftentimes, what makes a process of food delivery work is the unseen human intervention performed on the part of drivers, like this one above, to make sure that the process is moving along as it should be. Our key takeaway from this study is that human intervention is vital to making Nosh work. The presence of humans allows stakeholders to exercise agency over their participation. It is vital to the repair work needed to make Nosh functional. How human intervention is treated is what sets Nosh apart from mainstream platforms. Given the importance of this human intervention, why do mainstream platforms fail to support it? In the paper, we point to how organizational logic, specifically business models, dictate what types of infrastructures will be built and therefore what types of interactions will be supported. In mainstream platforms, the logics of scalability permeate both business models and therefore the computational infrastructure that underlies the platform. So, what should we do as HCI researchers? We argue that it is not enough to make technical design recommendations that simply support human intervention. Attempting to improve conditions in the platform economy solely through technical interventions without considering the context in which those interventions would actually operate in the real world limits our ability to understand what these interventions will fundamentally change. That is, stopping at design leaves many questions unanswered. It is well established that in the platform economy, despite its claims of being a place that offers liberatory access to on-demand work, it further entrenches systems of oppression and marginalization. But what realistically are our technical design recommendations doing to fundamentally reorganize the structure of the platform economy to avoid precarious conditions? As a field, we should consider the role of organizational logics in enabling or constraining the intended impact of our technical recommendations. And we should also design to support organizational structures that will be conducive to themselves supporting human intervention. This could look like researching mechanisms that support distributed governance and resource sharing that hub and spoke models like Nosh operate on. We believe that it's essential to contribute to building a plurality of systems within the platform economy, rather than only identifying how patches can be made to address existing issues within the frameworks and logics of mainstream platforms. Before I end this talk, I just want to give a huge thank you to my collaborators, the folks at Nosh, and my colleagues for making this work possible. And I thank you as well to our anonymous reviewers for their thoughtful feedback that helped to make this a stronger contribution. Thank you.